And we said this in the last video, but this is probably the most important thing.
It needs repeating.
That I see this all the time. Many times, a criminal will target the weaker, right? It's no different than in the wild. The weak animal gets targeted. When we moved into our home, I had bought cameras for everywhere, and I'm just like, why do you need all these cameras? Guess who's on the cameras all the time?
And you're always making fun of me. Hey guys, MJ and Izzy from Endless RVing. Now, today's video is a really good one, a really important one. We did a video quite a while back. It was called Straight Talk from a Cop, RV Security Tips While Traveling. Well, today's video, we're gonna expand on that more and talk about the importance of some new tips, some common ones, but you're really gonna wanna stay for this whole thing and not miss out.
So like MJ said, this is the second edition, the 2.0 to that last video.
This was a request from a subscriber. It's actually a couple people.
Yeah, we have put out some questions, what kind of videos people want to see. So doing this, and actually that last video was about 2 years ago. So of course, as you get more experience RVing, there's certain things that you kind of learn. So let's just get right into it. So the first thing is, and we said this in the last video, but this is probably the most important thing.
It needs repeating.
That I see this all the time, is being aware of your surroundings, right? So that is from when you're getting into your RV, to where you park your RV, to where you go camping, you stay overnight, at fuel stations.
Docking overnight, yes.
Yeah, everywhere you go, you should have kind of your head on a swivel. And I know the last time we did this video, some people said that that's paranoia, that you can't live that way. And listen, people live the way they want.
Right.
But remember that criminals and crime a lot of times are opportunity, right? You see somebody that maybe looks a little weaker, that's not paying attention, versus somebody that's more alert, that has a presence about themselves. Many times, a criminal will target the weaker, right? It's no different than in the wild. The weak animal gets targeted.
You want to try to find the balance between paranoia and naivete. Is that how they say the word, right?
Yes.
Yeah, you don't want to be naive, but you don't want to be paranoid either. You have to find that happy medium. All right, so we're on Nelly right now, and unfortunately, guys, in New Jersey, it is still cold, hence the jacket. So I digress. The next thing, have a plan in place, be it for a fire, an injury, a confrontation with someone. All of these things, you always want to be thinking ahead. What am I going to do in these situations?
Right, and that's going to be for everybody you travel with. So it's really important if you have kids that they're kind of on the same page. So let's just quickly talk about a couple things. Let's talk about fire, right? Because that's a really important one. And we did a video on fire, but there's a couple things that everybody should be on board. Number one, where are the fire extinguishers? So where are the fire extinguishers, hon? Let's put it to the test.
So we have...
Let's show everyone.
So here's one here. He did not tell me he was doing this, by the way. There's one.
Okay, let's show some other ones.
Okay.
Oh, well, I thought you were going to miss that.
No, see?
There's another one right there. I know them because I installed where they were. I know like exactly where they are. Where's number 3?
Oh, sorry. There it is.
There's number 3.
Hey, I'm being real. You know.
Where's number 4?
I was just going to say this too. When we start our season, we're going to do this with Jason.
Keep going. We're burning up in the bedroom. Keep going.
So we haven't done this yet for the start of the season, and it's amazing. I'm going to go this way. Full-timers, you guys are in it all the time. You know, we haven't been camping on Nelly, obviously, with winter for a bit, so I'm going to go in here.
It's actually right under those blankets there.
Yeah, these blankets, we also have, it's back there, yeah. In case we do have to smash out the back window, we have this blanket that we can actually put over that, you know, to get out.
Let me show you the rest of the stuff if you want to put it on me. So we put 4 inside, 1 in the front, 1 in the center, 1 in the bathroom, 1 in the back. 4 fire extinguishers, and there's at least 1 other in the basement. MJ talked about smashing. Here's a hammer. It's always in this drawer. If you see, we have a large rear window. This is not an emergency exit, but we could certainly make it an emergency exit. And then we have a wall, we have a couple of blankets that we can kind of throw over, get our way out. This is not that high of a drop. You have 1 emergency exit here, which we'll be testing out before we go on the road. Where's the other emergency exit, hon?
Over here.
Yeah, there's going to be, this window's an emergency exit also. So it's...
All right, so don't blame me because you hid the fire extinguishers. We're playing hot cold here. But yes, at the start of the season, it's always good to remind yourself, because I did forget since last season. We're going to get Jason doing the same thing.
Yeah, now let's talk about medical, right?
Yeah.
It's a medical thing. So we keep, I don't know if you knew this, we keep in here, right? We have a very basic first aid kit. First aid, here's a medical kit. In here, we do have a tourniquet.
I was just gonna say, where's the orange tourniquet?
Yeah, there's an orange tourniquet in here.
So we don't bleed out.
I do encourage everybody, to, whatever if you want a rat's tourniquet or one like this, it's kind of idiot proof. Not that any of them are really difficult. You can make your first aid kit as small or as large as possible. What should go also with the first aid kit is knowing where you're at, like where are you staying? So if you do have to call 911, if you need to get to an area, to a hospital, you just need, you need to know where you're at. So that's the second thing. The third thing, talking about confrontation.
This is good for you to address.
Yeah, you should try to avoid confrontation at all.
Right.
costs.
You don't want to be, all big and bad, especially with people at campgrounds. A lot of people may be intoxicated, maybe looking for some excitement. Take a pass.
Yeah, sometimes ego doesn't matter, right? Like I know, especially for men, like in the long run, it's much better to just swallow it and walk away because it's going to cost you so much less in time and finances.
Sitting in a jail cell for assault.
Versus just walking away. Now, if a confrontation cannot be avoided, then you have to do what you have to do, whatever. Have the plan for that.
Next one, make sure you always travel with sufficient fuel, water, and food. Fuel, if you need to run your generator. We were in Virginia Beach one year and the power went out and we had to run our generator for quite a bit. So you want to make sure that you are definitely filled up with fuel before you get to your destination. Water also, God forbid the water. We've had that issue happen as well, where the water is not working, that you have a full tank of water, at least a half a tank, right? So people say, well, the way I don't want to drive with all that water, whatever, just have water with you. And then food, okay, we're empty right now because obviously we're not camping at this minute, but we always, Izzy always teases me that we have too much food that I bring. Nothing wrong with being over prepared.
Next, let's talk about fuel. Like MJ touched on fuel. Yes, you might have to run your generator, but sometimes you may get stuck in traffic, or sometimes, the road may be closed, or you pull into a fuel station and they're out of fuel, or you can't fit in there. You don't want to be running on fumes. Half a tank is really the lowest. I like to keep it no less than half a tank at all times. And then before we pull into a campground, we always top off. The next thing, and this one seems kind of obvious, but people don't do this for some reason, is locking your doors. Locking your doors on your tow vehicle, on your towed vehicle, on your door. You'd be surprised how many people don't do that. Now, I know on our motorhome, there's actually two different locks. You have the lock on the bottom, if you show here. This is usually a very generic lock, and some keys, a lot of them are keyed the same. And then you have your deadbolt. I would suggest that you lock both of them at night when you go to sleep, as well as when you leave your motorhome. Lock both. Another thing, bay doors. Lock your bay doors. There's a lot of valuable items a lot of times in there. Sewer stuff, electrical things, lithium batteries, they're super expensive. A lot of times they're in there. Lock all of it.
Really important. Don't leave things out that you don't want to part ways with. Bikes are huge. We will not bring our electric bikes with us unless if we're going to be in a place that we don't feel comfortable, all right? And a lot of times we've actually talked about even leaving them on the RV at night because we don't want people to pick those up and walk away with them. Another thing, our tow bar, hitch, your hitch, anything outside, chairs you can replace easy, but those expensive things, generators, things like that, that's a lot of money. So make sure they are put away safely at night or when you're not there.
So the next one is carry a cell phone with you. I would suggest you even do this while you're at the campground for a couple of obvious reasons. You never know when you may be separated. That's happened to us a couple times. Like we can't find Jason or I can't find you or whatever. Cell phone's pretty convenient to have. Also, say something happens on the RV. You come back and your RV's on fire and you want to talk, make sure your significant other or you want to let them know what's going on. I mean, the best way to communicate is with a cell phone or two-way radio, some way to communicate with that other person. So the next one, and again, this is maybe borders on paranoia, right? I would suggest not going onto campers or RVs of people you don't really know. And this is a really important thing for kids. We've seen this at campgrounds, right? Not so much kids going on RVs, but little kids, like 3-4 years old kids, just walking around the campgrounds. RVs are essentially like apartments on wheels. You do not know who your neighbor is, unless that's your friend, right? But you don't know who these people are, and most of them are great people, but mixed in, there tends to be bad people. There can be bad people. I would suggest that unless you really know somebody, we wouldn't do it. We wouldn't go on an RV. And I hate to say this, especially if you're a female, a single female, I certainly wouldn't go into strangers, you know, RVs, motorhomes, whatever it may be, unless you just really, really know who they are.
Izzy's law enforcement background is showing, but it's true because you see this all the time because he deals with this on a daily basis.
Well, yeah, I mean, we've said this when we go to campgrounds, and I'm like, look at it. We'll have kids come up to our RV, they start talking, and they'll tell you everything.
Oh, yeah.
They'll tell you where you're we're having at swimming pools. You know, they follow you, they talk to you. And, you know, we're not like bad people, but like I immediately think like, if I was a bad person, like this kid would disappear. Right. Like this is a little crazy to me that the parents don't know where their kids are. Really small kids. So please just keep that in mind. Okay, so the next one that we see a lot at campgrounds, losing your ability to be rational. And what do we mean by this? Well, if you've been to campgrounds, you know, a lot of times people go, they want to party, they want to kick back, they want to relax, and that is why you go camping. There's nothing wrong with that. However, at the same time, we've seen a lot of times where people become intoxicated to a point that they're slurring, they're falling over. When you don't have control of your faculties, when you can't speak, when you can't stand up, you can make bad decisions, right? You may walk into your car and decide you want to go to the camp store and there's little kids running around, or you may decide that you want to level your RV. What I'm saying is, as adults, you kind of have to keep control and keep your wits about you, just because when you don't have control of yourself, that's when bad things tend to happen.
If you're enjoying the video so far, we invite you to hit the subscribe button below. Hit the notification bell too so you know when we release new videos or go live. And we have a private group on Facebook we would love for you to join. It's called Endless RVing, RVers Coming Together. We will see you there. Next one is camping and traveling in numbers, especially to remote locations, is probably a good idea. I belong to this group on Facebook. I think it's called, it's like Single Women Camping, and there's thousands and thousands of women in there. God bless them. Strong women, they're out there alone, but it can be risky. And a lot of women will ask, you know, I want to do this, but I'm really nervous about going out there alone. It is a fear that's there.
Yeah, and it's not only with women, it's just in general, even men. And and this is not so much with safety, but if you're going out to remote locations, being in numbers, if something happens, there's a medical issue, or if something breaks down, you have a flat, your generator's not working, something that's going to need multiple people to help you out. One person has to run out and get parts while another person do it. If you're going to long distances to remote locations, the more numbers, the better. All right, let's talk about another one. I'm big on this. At home, I think we have, 16 cameras? We have cameras inside, we have cameras outside. And you know what's funny is that, I've said this story before if you've watched this. When we moved into our home, I had bought cameras for everywhere. And I'm just like, why do you need all these cameras? Guess who's on the cameras all the time?
And you're always making fun of me. But I am. I mean, especially if we're not home and the dogs, see what the dogs are doing, or if I see a motion outside, I'm like, who's on our property? Yeah. So they look, definitely put them to use.
Yeah, so why cameras? Cameras will never prevent a crime, really. They may deter it. But what cameras do, they give you, like MJ said, they kind of give you a peace of mind to know what's going on. So let's show you a couple things. Like, we have cameras on here. So we have a camera, a Nest camera right here. This is mostly for the dogs. It shoots straight back. You can see right through the RV and you can hear things. We have 4 external cameras. One which is our rear view camera. You can see everything kind of right behind us. And then we have our halo view cameras. This is a front-facing camera, which is always recording. So when we go down the road, I have this on and it's recording everything. Something jumps out in front, somebody cuts you off, it's recorded on camera. And then we have 2 side view cameras. Again, not so much for recording, but at nighttime, if you can see to the side of you whatever is going on, I can kind of, go through the different cycles that I have on here. We also have a Ring doorbell camera, which MJ likes also. Somebody comes up, they ring the bell, or you can go in live. You can see exactly who's at your front door. If somebody's knocking on your door that you're not expecting it, go right in the app. You can see what exactly is going on. Now, is it paranoia? Maybe. Maybe it is paranoia. I don't know.
I don't think it's paranoia. I think it's smart. But again, it works for us. And we're just giving these because a lot of people ask, and it can help you. Maybe something else you want to add to your arsenal of tricks. This is really important, probably one of the most important ones, but there has been a huge uptick in RV catalytic converter thefts.
Or vehicles in general. But
Vehicles, yes,
RVs.
but it's really affecting, you know, the RV community. We're hearing about it so much. So we did a video a few weeks ago about a product that we installed on Nelly, that Izzy installed on Nelly. We're going to link that up above. It's called the Cat Strap. It's an amazing product. I'm going to let you just kind of give a quick summary of what it is.
Yeah, all it is, it's basically a strap that has cables and steel plate in it, as well as an alarm system. You put it on your catalytic converter and muffler, and it helps deter theft. So when I say deter, it doesn't stop it, because if somebody is motivated enough, they will take what they want. There's also different ones out there. You have one called a cat clamp. You can weld custom plates. All of them can be defeated, by the way. What you want is that you want to take a job that takes less than a minute and you want to make it difficult. You want to make it 10, 15, 20 minutes. You want to wear down the Sawzall blade, which most of them are using. You want that alarm to bring attention to where the thief is, because they don't want that. You want to make it difficult. So like MJ said, we did a video on it. We'll link it above. We'll put the cat strap below. We don't make money off of this, right?
No,
whether you buy it or not,
yeah,
it doesn't matter.
But if you get that or you get something, whatever, just get something.
Because I know for us, we know multiple people this has happened to.
Oh my God, last night alone, one of our ERV insiders, we were actually at Jason's high school theater production, and I got a message on my phone. One of our insiders said, "You're not going to believe this." It was literally the night after the video came out. She said, "The sheriff is with us right now. Someone stole our cat."
Yeah, and it's being stolen out of storage, out of repair facilities, out of campgrounds,
it's out of control.
Everywhere. So if you don't know somebody that's happened to, you're probably going to know somebody really soon. Put in the comments below. You have to know somebody, because it's almost like COVID, right? Like you know somebody who had COVID, you know somebody who had their cat stolen. All right, continuing on things getting stolen, and we're the bearers of doom and gloom, but there's good things to this.
It is truth. It's truth.
RVs getting stolen. It happens. It happens a lot, especially towables. Now, if you have a motorized, don't think your motorized can't get stolen either, because that happens also. Yes. But towables are a really easy target. So there are different security measures, like I just said about the cat strap. None of them will completely stop it. They can all be defeated. So you can put hitch locks and all kind of, you can park cars in front. Somebody wants something bad enough, they're going to take it. What is the last line of defense? Well, it's not really defense, but I guess kind of an offense, is going to be some kind of GPS. And what we've chosen to use is WearSafe.
Right, we've done videos on that. We'll link one up above.
Right, we've had the WearSafe now for close to a year. It is hidden on Nelly. It is a live GPS tracker. The monitoring is $12.95 a month, which is nothing. And you can get these things from $150 to like $200. Why WearSafe GPS? I am in law enforcement. We do deal with GPSs, and it is almost identical to what we use for law enforcement grade. It has an extended battery. The battery lasts for months and months and months. You just put it on and you go on your app, and you can see exactly where your RV is at all times.
The second it moves, my Apple Watch tells me. I love it. Again, I don't look at this as paranoia. I look at it as peace of mind.
Well, I'll tell you why, because we just dropped our motorhome off about an hour away from us at a facility to have some repairs done. It's in a safe area, but it's an open lot. Well, what's crazy is I set up a geofence around that. So I know when we enter, I know when Nelly leaves. And if Nelly's leaving at some kind of weird day when it's not like business hours,
right.
something's wrong.
Yeah.
Why do we say live GPS? Because you can speak to it and he can speak to you. Some people talk about the Apple AirTags. I would suggest not doing that, because that is only Bluetooth and is only as good as somebody in the area that has an iOS device, and it tells you if you're connected to it. So really don't cheap out on this. We'll put a link below. We also have a discount code.
Yes, that we do.
It's Endless 10, and you get 10% off. We'll put that in the link below. All right, so here's it really go. Let's chat about this one, because this one comes up all the time. And I think a lot of times people put these in comments. Like, I don't know why they put these in comments, but firearms is a big thing, right? And a lot of states in the country, well, most states, you can carry a firearm. I'm a law enforcement officer. Couple of things about firearms, and this is not advocating to or having firearms or not. That's completely up to you. If you choose to have a firearm, couple of things I think you should be aware of. Number one, you should know what the legalities are regarding wherever you're visiting. National park, state, do you have to have a permit to carry? Are you even allowed to carry concealed in that state? Some states you can, some states you can't.
Don't carry in New Jersey.
I will tell you that unless you're a cop or some kind of politician, you're probably not going to be allowed to carry in New Jersey. Again, that is completely up to you. Just understand that you need to know the legal ramifications of carrying that firearm. And often we hear, I see in the comments, rather be judged by 12 than carried by 6, and that's fine if you want to, if that's what you want to do. Just understand, if you do get into some kind of incident with the firearm in a state that you're not supposed to have it, I hope you have an exorbitant amount of money for legal funds to pay for your freedom, because that's the reality of what's going to happen. Whether you're right or wrong, there's going to be a price to pay. Just be prepared for that. The second thing that I would suggest is that if you choose to carry a firearm, then carry a firearm, right? Legally, of course. What do I mean by that? A firearm or any kind of weapon does you no good if I'm driving and my firearm is locked in a locker, in a safe, in the bedroom. That does me no good. If I am sleeping in the bedroom and my firearm is in the bay underneath, that does me no good. If I go to put fuel in the motorhome and my firearm is in my safe inside, it does me no good. So what I'm trying to say is that if you choose to have a firearm, number one, you should train with it. Number two, it should be on you or very near you at all times.
How many of these that we've talked about do you use? Do you do? Do you think we're paranoid? We don't think we're paranoid.
You'll get that.
I think we're smart, and we haven't had any issues with any of these things we've talked about.
And for the reality, most of the times you won't.
Right.
Your RV is not going to catch on fire. You're not going to be mugged.
Right.
You know, most of the times this won't happen, but you want to be prepared if it does.
And I want to make a point, because I remember people had said, you guys aren't enjoying your camping. Oh, believe me, we are loving our camping. This stuff is not inhibiting us from having a blast when we camp. It just makes it safer.
Yeah, I can tell you, if you get your catalytic converter cut off, you're not going to enjoy your camping.
No.
In the comments below, let us know, what do you use? Also, to the left of us, if you want to watch more videos on RV securities, as well as RV newbie things, we have playlists. We'll put them to the left of us. And for myself and MJ, we thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you on the road.